actually, it's really all about the money. And I'll know you think I'm pretty, and I'll know that you're worth my time.
But again, Brett Cooper, it's the same because she did marry a rich guy, right? She didn't marry an average Joe. There's average Joes that work on her show that she meets every day. What's up, guys? Welcome to my reaction series. Today, we are reacting to a right-wing e-girl, Brett Cooper, acknowledging that water is wet, the sky is blue, and women are big fat slut whores. She's kind of danced around this topic for years, and finally, now that it's hitting her in the face, she's got to be like, look, I guess we are terrible. Welcome to the team, Brett. Welcome here. Also, guys, we want to do live events in your city. So if you want to fill out the form in the description, you can put in your name, your phone number, your email, and then we'll contact you when we are in your city. So
acts of vacation, words of confirmed flights, and definitely quality time abroad.
Quality time abroad. Yeah, got it. Yeah. So needless to say, today we are talking about how the line between...
Now, mind you, Brett Cooper, I'd like to say, is no different. None of us are any different or special. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to see from Brett Cooper. She will not put the career away for the kid because she likes the attention from the internet more than the attention from the kids. For whatever reason, the reason I think it's because it just gives us so much leverage. It's so fun. I have a grand old time here, right? But we gotta acknowledge this stuff. On top of that, she married a guy that's worth like 2 million or 5 million, around that range, if you look it up. And she travels for work. And then remember, she was doing eyes at the famous hot men while her chud husband's like sitting in the hotel room. Even the famous hot men that have talked shit about her husband, right? So no different, not special at all. And that's okay, right? I'm not special. She's not special. We're all a bunch of big fat slut whores. And it just is what it is. So yeah, so she's gonna sell, oh no, what is this? But like, let's just keep it a buck. Yeah, the same.
Between finding love and prostitution in Miami is very, very thin. Not to mention, we also need to talk about how women simply love to hate something just because other women like to hate it and because they say it's permissible. And honestly, I think that's why we found ourselves in this dating predicament to begin with. Now, before we dive in, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for always jumping in the comment section and sharing your thoughts. Today, you're going to have to let me know.
Yeah, so look, it just oh no, we don't care about money. The exact net worth of which it used to say like 2 to 5 million. I think they took it down after I'm on these bitches' asses. However, Cooper has stated he is a very successful entrepreneur. They knew each other for 15 years before starting to date. Well, I don't think that's true, but all right.
If any woman has ever...
I'm on your bitches' asses. If you ladies don't want me to come after your relationship, you better not put it on the internet. You better not use it to build your brand. Otherwise, I'll be on your ass. I'm here.
Slid into your DMs asking you to pay for something, as we're going to talk about today. So just let me know. But anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for always liking and subscribing to the channel. If you want to stay up to date on everything we upload, make sure to ring that notification bell. All right, so just diving in, the reason for today's video, obviously, is a viral TikTok. So take a look at this video that blew up over the weekend.
So here's an update on how dating is going in Miami as a 37-year-old single male. I met this girl at the pool yesterday. We hung out for an hour and a half. Had a decent time, good time. And then as we were leaving, I paid for her valet. And now apparently to see her again, I have to pay for her hair extensions. Presumably I'll pay for her Uber tomorrow to the date. Obviously I'll pay for dinner all before we go on our first date. That is a hard pass for me.
Now, that being a hard pass for me is putting it mildly compared to how I would respond if I was a man. So
now, okay, so here's what's going to happen. There's women that cash out earlier and later, right? And the goal is always to get the hottest men available. And attention from the highest status men in society is like our currency, right? And this could be through behavior. Every woman, like what we find attractive is different. So it really varies. So some women, they want the simps to essentially pay for their lifestyle where they can bang and give sex to the attractive men for free. So yeah, that's how they do it.
This up because I know that there was some music behind that TikTok and he sped up his voice. What happened here is that this man, he is sharing a text exchange that he just had with a woman. He said he met this girl at the pool. They hung out. They chatted for about an hour and a half before they both decided to leave. When they were leaving, he paid for her valet, got her number, asked her out. They're talking about going to dinner, presumably the next night. And she texts him and says, "Good morning, sexy. I'd love to schedule to get my hair extensions done so I feel extra sexy for our date night. And so obviously this man takes that to mean that she is wanting him to pay for her hair extensions before they even go on their first date. Now, she is not, coming out right and saying, hey, Venmo me $500 for hair extensions, whatever it is in this economy. But why else would she be texting him that? Like, there's no reason to bring that into the conversation unless you were trying to bait the man into sending you, zelling you, cash apping you, whatever we're doing, all of that money before he can have access to you for this date. Now, obviously, this man is going, no, I'm not into that. And because he did not read it in the TikTok, this was his response. This is what I can decipher from behind his head. But he says, damn, I am not attracted to having to pay for basic stuff before we are dating or even go on a single date. That is what fat and ugly guys have to do, not my thing. Which honestly is a banger of a response. Now,
Yeah, because again, if he was hot, if she was attracted enough to him, then she wouldn't make him pay for anything. But she doesn't find him attractive, so that you have a higher cost. That's why, like, women that wait for marriage with their husbands, they're not attracted to him because he's got like the ultimate price. Like, that's like the biggest, that's a big price,
I'm sure that you guys are sitting there because you are all common sense, normal individuals, and you're thinking, yeah, okay, he is right. That is insane. That is a no-go, not the kind of woman for him. Like, the audacity of this woman to come out after meeting this man only once. They've spent an hour together and asking for this. But guys, this video did not blow up on TikTok because people agreed with him and people are now, talking about the state of womanhood in 2026, the audacity of females in America. No. Of course. No, it blew up because women on the internet were appalled by him. They were appalled by him, and he got so trashed on this app that he deleted the video in its entirety. And just listen to some of these responses that I compiled. So one woman said he wants full access to the first class lounge on an economy class ticket. I know that she thought she ate with that one. 22,000 other women liked that. Another person said, pay up, pops. Another 22,000 likes on that comment. On another site that was talking about this viral exchange, a woman commented and said, this is why I stay far away from men. Because, he's mad that he has to pay for her hair. Same men that chase after high maintenance women as trophies, but hate maintaining them. Like getting a Porsche and getting mad at premium fuel and oil changes. That means you can't afford it. And I'm not even super high maintenance like that. I can buy my own weave and do my own nails and eyebrows, etc. Very much a DIY girly. But it pisses me off that men want us to be pretty, but don't want the hard work that...
Okay, but being pretty, it's hard work after a certain age, right? They want you young and pretty. Young. You don't have to do all the fake stuff when you're young because you're just pretty. Now you got to put fake stuff because you're old and you're trying to prove you still got it.
Comes with it. The hard work, aka shilling out potentially thousands of dollars for hair extensions before a first date just to get access to a woman who, in your words, needs to be maintained. And because he is not interested in crossing that line, because he does not want to monetize a date, because he does not want to engage in prostitution, then I guess that means he's a dusty, musty, can't afford it man. Like, this is just insane. Like, seriously, guys, I was reading all these comments. I was seeing all of the stitches and the reposts. I genuinely felt like I had entered the upside down. And just from there, the whole thing exploded. It got even worse. Just based on that video alone, women were harshly judging him just because of what they saw in front of that green screen where he was talking about the text messages. They were judging him and his looks and, most importantly, his age, because he talks about being 37. Women did not believe that. Somebody said, yeah, it's giving 47. Another person said, he looks 10 years older than my 40-year-old husband. And then another person said, he's an average-looking guy at best. Now, here's the thing. I did some journalisming, as my friend Jack Mack would say, boots on the ground journalism. And I did what apparently these commenters were simply too lazy to do. I clicked on his profile. I went to his page and listen, those 40-year-old man glasses, they were not doing him any favors. They look like he picked them up in the back of Sam's Club or Costco. But I'm sorry, looking at this man's profile, you cannot say,
oh my God, he's hot. Oh my goodness. Dude, this is like women hate Giga Chads because they have too much power.
Objective.
Is Brett Cooper growing on me a little bit? She's getting a little less bratty.
As a married woman, you cannot say that he is ugly or that he looks geriatric. I mean, his entire TikTok page, for better or for worse, is him working out and getting jacked. And so I am sorry, but let's just take this comment. For example, this person, Eric Riviera Cooks, said, I'm 44 and he looks way older than me. Okay, Eric, this is you and this is him. No, he
Oh my gosh.
does not. What Kool-Aid are you people drinking? All of you are coping and seething because the internet hive mind in this comment section told you to. They convinced you because this man was not willing to Venmo a random chick $2,800, $1,500, again, whatever it is, that he is ugly and old and awful. Because I'm sorry, objectively, this guy actually doesn't look that bad. He doesn't look awful. He's fit. He's competing in CrossFit and high rocks competitions.
That bad. He looks great. That's like a male 9 or 10.
I went to his Instagram. He's posting pictures with his cute siblings that he's apparently close with. He's posting photos of him hanging out with his nieces and nephews. He's posting beautifully heartfelt tributes to his late mother who recently passed away. Like, other than the overwhelmingly amount, I will be honest there, the overwhelming amount of posed gym photos with the strange facial expressions.
Like, do you know, she's okay. So again, Cooper, she still hates masculinity to some degree. And whenever there's a type of masculinity that gives men power, like notice how she's praising the type of masculinity that's like good for women. So, oh, he loves his mother, da, 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 da. But whenever it's like posting gym selfies, she doesn't like it because that gives men the power to get more bitches.
Like, other than that, there aren't really a lot of glaring red flags, but the girls and the gays on TikTok were adamant that he was too old and too gross to be acting in this way, to be drawing this line in the sand, that he should know his age, he should know her worth. Like, remember the comment that we read earlier, pay up, pops. If he wants to have
too much power,
have access to that type of woman, he is going to have to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, the 22,000 people, however many people are commenting here, that is called prostitution. Ironically, on another side of the internet, while some women were saying that he was,
prostitution. I'm telling you, it's going to become more rampant as the economy. Women are going to pick being sex workers over wives. And it makes sense when you think about it. Because, okay, if you're a sex worker, okay, that I don't know the schedule of a sex worker, I guess, but let's say it's like a 9 to 5. And then the rest of the day, you can do whatever you want, where if you have a husband, you have to live by his rules, so. And get along with another person. And that, I mean, it makes sense why the sexes are going further and further apart.
And old, other women were saying that actually he was too fit, that he works out too much, he looks too good. And because of that, he must be gay. Just watch.
All before we go on our first date. That is.
You're angry that she has standards because you.
She's so ugly. Like, the audacity of you've got to.
You're trying to bag the wrong team. No man looks like that for women.
I mean, genuinely, it's like men can't win. I mean, there's just so much to unpack in that 30-second TikTok. Number one, she's saying that a woman asking for money before a first date is called having standards. I'm sorry, we have completely lost all value systems, all semblance of a moral compass if you think that is having standards. And then number two, this is like a backhanded compliment.
Brett, it's taking you long enough to get here. It's taking you long enough. We have been waiting for you. You're middle of the road commentating for years. I don't know what's going on. Get the fuck out of here. I've been here. Pearl just hates women. I've been here. Interview 1,000, then get back to me. Interview 1,000.
This woman is obviously upset that she does not have access to a man who looks like that, who has abs like that, who works out like that. And so she is saying, you are too fit, too good looking, so you must be gay. No man looks like that when he's trying to attract a woman, because I obviously would not be attracted to that. Yes, you are, ma'am. Yes, you and your cats certainly are. Sorry, that was a little bit rude. I'll take it down a little bit. But anyway, they're saying that he's gay. Now, on that same note, somebody else commented on one of the original reposts talking about him. This woman, Batman's counselor, said, I hope he finds the man of his dreams. Like, literally, my whole response here is she's like, men can't win. Women are saying, don't be fat, don't be ugly, go work out, be hot and rich for us, but actually don't work out too much. And if you look like that, then you're probably doing it for men and not women, because we actually don't want you to look like that. I mean, it is exhausting. It's almost as exhausting as higher education is, but actually not when you go to Grand Canyon University, because GCU does not settle for the exhausted status quo.
You're not getting this ad out of me, Chica. Yeah, not today, bitch. Not today.
Heads up, let's watch.
So this guy that I was seeing is currently going viral because he posted a video of his text response to a girl like insinuating that she wanted him to pay for her extensions, and people are like eating him up in the comments. And from someone that was like going on dates with him and seeing him for a couple months on and off, I can completely attest to like he thinks that he's the prize. Like one of our first conversations, he was like, "Oh, I have more Instagram followers than you." I said, "Okay, and I don't really care about that stuff." And he's like, "Oh, it's just an observation." Okay. We would go out and like girls would, I don't know, look in his direction, and he's like, "Yeah, it happens a lot." Even if men looked at our table, he would be like, "They're probably sizing me up. They probably like my physique. I'm like, "Yeah, they're looking at you." Mm-hmm. And always like making a comment of like, "Yeah, everyone's like looking at."
See, you can't, ladies, you got to understand that when you post stuff like this, he's still hit. So you can like nag or whatever and say you don't like parts of his personality, but he still got to hit a Stacy for a couple months. So
me, like, it's just, whatever. It was always, he's the prize, he's the best.
All right, now obviously I'm chuckling at this TikTok, but I do want to say it's important to note, he could have been saying all of this and speaking in jest. She could just be jumping on the bandwagon for attention because this is going viral. But also, I mean, just based on his social media, the man likes his body. He likes working out. He clearly wants attention based on the things that he's posting. So who knows? She could be, speaking totally honestly, he could be really into himself. But then additionally, there was also this one.
This man has literally been trying to take me out for 10 years. And when I finally gave him a first date, he asked me to come over to his house. That was the first date. He asked me to come to his house because, mind you, it was a Tuesday. And he said, I had a really hard.
Yeah, because girls are doing it. Do you really not think that girls aren't going right to his house? Maybe not you, but.
Week last Wednesday. Therefore, he wanted me to come to his house for first date. Please. Mind you, he's 40. Please.
So then obviously feeding into the rumors that he's not actually 37, that he looks older than his age, that he's lying about his age, whatever it is. Anyway, so because of these two TikToks that have also racked up thousands of views, women online, the ones who have been in these comment sections, they feel validated in their dislike of this man because he's self-absorbed, because he invited a woman to his house on a first date instead of doing, I don't know, a grand dinner, something else. But the most important thing, in my opinion, is that all of this hate from the jump stemmed from the fact that he would not pay for hair extensions for a random woman that he had met once. And then suddenly, because of that, all of these tens of thousands, millions of women at this point online agreed that this was the line in the sand. This was the example of having standards and knowing your worth. I mean, it is genuinely insane. And I guarantee, again, that maybe this is me being naive and hopeful. I don't know. You can call me out on this. I don't really care. But I believe that if you got a bunch of these commenters alone and you were talking with them about this, they would not have that kind of automatic response. But they watch these videos. They open the comment sections, as we all do. That's the first thing we do when we're scrolling on social media. They see all of these other tens of thousands of women, validating the girl who he's texting, demanding this kind of treatment, shaming men for not giving it, et cetera, et cetera. And so they jump on board. They go, oh, well, obviously, yeah, I want that too. I want somebody to pay for me. Like, it is just grotesque. It is hive mind behavior. And apparently it is becoming a bigger trend. Just watch this TikTok.
I DM'd a girl and I said hello or hi or something. And she said, hi, if you think I'm pretty, pay for my nails today. Thank you. Sent me her Venmo. And I was like, and this is what I replied back. I said, I don't think you're that pretty. Then I said, that's girlfriend treatment. Then she said, haha, goodbye. I thought it was so funny. 1, I don't even know you. 2, I've never met you. 3, how many people do you do this with? Huh? I'm not just one of these men. They're going to throw cash at you, then thinking me throwing cash at a stranger is going to get you to reply back? No. The only way you have access to my money is through me. I'm not just going to be sending you stuff like that.
And it's so funny because you see men like this and Benny, and we're going to watch a couple of other videos, but men online are responding to this and they're saying, we also know our worth. We don't want you to just want us for our money, no matter how much money it is. That is our line in the sand. Well, simultaneously, women are making the same argument, but about the most ridiculous things. Men are saying, we want to get to know you. We want you to like us for who we are, not just because of our money. And these women are saying, actually, it's really all about the money. And I'll know you think I'm pretty, and I'll know that you're worth my time.
But again, you know, Brett Cooper, it's the same because she did marry a rich guy, right? She didn't marry an average Joe. There's average Joes that work on her show that she meets every day. And it's just our biological imperative. It's to never reproduce with average men. Sorry, fellas. It just is what it is. But luckily, you just have to convince a woman that you're above average for a little bit to get laid. So
time. If you Venmo me for my nails, my hair extension, I mean, it is so disgusting. It is so materialistic. I'm embarrassed to be a woman when I see these types of videos. It's just awful. And on another point, I feel like we should just like close the loop here and bring it back to what James Charles literally just got canceled for on TikTok like a couple of weeks ago. He was calling out the audacity that people have, specifically women on social media, to just ask people, ask famous people, ask rich people for money. No, hi, hello, how are you? I'm a big fan of yours. Not even following him, but DMing him a GoFundMe saying, I really need you to send me money. Once again, I know the internet was all up in arms about what he said, but I thought James was correct. Like, sorry, not sorry. Watch my video on that if you want to learn more. But this is an epidemic of audacious, materialistic people is what I'm trying to say. And that point will be proven by this comment section because once again, in terms of the TikTok we just watched, the women were on the girl's side. Just look at these comments. One girl said in reply to this guy, we like her a lot. Another one said, she ate. Another one said, I hope she got her nails paid for. And then another girl said, I love this tactic. Quick way to figure out if you're his dream girl. Once again, openly acknowledging that the only way a man is going to get his foot in the door is through money. Like, I read that comment and I literally wanted to bash my head into a wall. Like, great. Okay, so being somebody's dream girl, it's not about spark, a connection, her values, anything like that. No, it is about whether or not you find her physically attractive enough on social media to shill out cash before you even meet her. Love is dead. Is romance dead? Based on these individuals we are talking about today, apparently it is. Now, I think that this is happening all over the world, honestly, but specifically, it seems like this is becoming a big problem in Miami, where our guy Benny lives. For example, one matchmaker who's big on X, she posted about this back in February and said, what's up with the dating scene in Miami right now? I've spoken with about 2 potential Miami matchmaking clients this week who have said that women are asking for a rent allowance and a shopping budget on first dates. This is good for my business because I can screen gold diggers out, but on a personal level, WTF. And I have to say, this is
again, women are going to pick sex work over because you have to understand this is what's going to happen. So you're like, imagine you're in a relationship and you're doing all this stuff for free. You're like cooking for free, cleaning for free. And then you see your friend just getting railed by some old dude like once or twice a month and not having to do any of that and just getting the money. It's going to be tempting. A lot of women are going to sign up. You know, or you're going to see women getting money. Like, it's because some men cave. That's why they do it. And then the other women see it and they're like, well, I don't want to work. I don't want to, like, what am I getting? You know, we're not great people. Just
go by Miami man on the street interviews. Just watch.
What's your age? 31. Are you single? Yes, sir. What's the biggest problem you run into dating women in Miami now?
These buster ass, millionaire, trick ass niggas be fucking and poisoning these bitches' brains up. Because every time they come around me and they see that I'm not finna trick on them and pay for their time and pay for their fucking nails and pay for their whole lifestyle, and I'm just actually trying to get to know the bitch to see if she actually is even worthy of being around me and worthy of my time, they look at it like, nigga, I just committed a felony.
Because he won't pay for her whole life. All right, anyway, we'll go on to the next one.
What's the hardest part about dating in Miami?
The hardest part about dating in Miami is all the girls selling pussy. It's not dating no more.
Every girl is out here selling.
My cousins, my sisters, man, niggas' mamas, everybody out here in Miami, from the mamas to the daughters to the everybody selling pussy.
What happened to finding your wife, meeting her out, taking her on a date, and then seeing if something real happens?
That shit don't exist no more. That shit is extinct, bro, like dinosaurs. Wives is like dinosaurs. The bitches is extinct. You either buying the pussy or you ain't getting it.
Wives are like dinosaurs. That is the most abysmal yet iconic line coming out of this episode. Now, listen, I am sure that both of these men are being truthful. And honestly, after reading the comments that we have read, after seeing the uproar over Benny drawing his line in the sand, I do not blame them for their language. But I do.
Finally, Brett. Oh, no.
You have to say the commenters did make a good point. Sally, for example, on X said, if this is the language with which you speak about the women around you, including your sisters, I'm shocked. Insert sarcasm that your dating scene is trash.
This is going to be the gaslighting where she says that, oh, well, it's just the women you are interviewing. And this is the biggest bullshit ever. This is how women, because what happens is she wants to sell her purity, that she would never do that. And she's not like that. And it's like, Brett, you went to college. You're not putting away your career for your husband. Not saying that's wrong. Not saying that's wrong, but you're the same. You're the same. You married rich too. And women that look just like her, have the same look, do sex work all the time. So
AF. Higher class women don't date guys like this. Another person said, sad state of affairs when a nice guy like this can't find a good woman to settle down with. Touche. Again, they make
she's insinuating class and race. Like that's the not all, it's just the women of your class, your race, your city, etc.
Great points. But removing those men and their language from the equation, the point about women and what they are demanding and asking for still stands. Overall, dating has been monetized. And between the apps, which have, turned dating into an addictive low-stakes game, and OnlyFans, which has turned everyone into low-class prostitutes, it was only a matter of time until this took hold. And then what is possibly most important here is the content that women are consuming online. Like, it is no wonder that they feel encouraged to jump in and start expecting or demanding this. Like, for example, take this video. And just so you know, this happens to be the woman who Benny allegedly invited over to his home. That date was not good enough. Again, I'm not here to shame the date. I don't know how I would respond in that situation. Maybe he was cooking her a nice dinner. She didn't think that was good enough. Maybe she thought it was unsafe, weird, whatever. But this is the woman who was behind that TikTok and behind that date. Just watch what she posted about 24 hours ago.
So yesterday I was on FaceTime and I got this gorgeous delivery. Surprise delivery. Didn't expect it. He somehow knew I was in New York. And I was like, okay, cute. The man on FaceTime said, looks a little small. I don't know about you, but I think this is beautiful. And I was like, I'm giddy as a pig in shit. And he said, I think you deserve more.
This is why it's never going to end, because men will just keep... There's a whole market of men just dying to give women their money. Dying to.
I love me a petty man. I love me a toxic king. Okay. Thank you, sir. I would have much preferred the Zelle, though. If you're going to buy me $500 flowers, sell me $500 as well. And y'all want to hear this a little note. Just read it out loud. He said, and I quote, "Hello, woman. I don't miss you at all." The blue flowers came with the "I miss you and you're amazing" note. He said again, "Hello, woman. I don't miss you at all. And I wish I had the opportunity to fight you. I hope those flowers gonna make it on TikTok, though. Also, I regret the day I put your massive feet in my mouth." Your main op. My main op? Signed, him truly.
So I'll just end it there because I think you guys get the point. Like, it's no wonder that you and our guy Benny didn't work out, because what you apparently wanted was a roster full of men
and that's what I mean. Because you're gonna get, it's like a rental market. So okay, if you're a rental girl, you're gonna get to go to better events, you're gonna get more money, you're gonna get better stuff for a short period, right? The husband is like a long-term thing, but women, we think like this week, this month, we don't think long-term. So not great people. But anyways, all right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. If you could like the video on your way out and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.